Hey, Linda.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yep, can hear you too.
Hi. Yeah.
Yes. Hi.
Okay, great. Hi. So welcome. So this is the Municipal Scholarship Committee meeting. It's being recorded and it is September 28th at 7 p.m. Um, I'll just start. I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda in front of me. But one of the things I wanted you guys to know was that I've invited the superintendent, and I believe he is on right now with us. And we have to use this new platform, Zoom, not GoToMeeting. Um, and this platform, I guess, will enable others to participate. Um, Honestly, I'm not, I'm not a technology person, so yeah, I'm learning this platform as we go. So I've given the username and the password to everyone in email separately. So you should have received two emails from me, one with the login credentials and one with the password. And so that any of you could, uh, control the meetings. So for what that's worth, I will yield.
Thanks, Linda. Appreciate it. All right, so I will do a quick renaming myself. Scholarship. Um, Thank you, Superintendent Carmona, for being here today. Appreciate it. I think overall, in terms of an agenda for this meeting, we were hoping to just simply, take some time to reflect on last year's experience, but also obviously our main priority tonight is to discuss the Dollars for Scholars, Scholarship America contract that has been offered to us, a 3-year contract that has been offered at this point for their access to their platform to manage the scholarship. At this time, having reviewed the scholarship, the Dollars for Scholars program over the last year, and as well as obviously our own experiences individually as committee members, and then thinking about the future of where this money is going towards, I think there's part of me that has some really big questions about the feasibility of using this platform moving forward. But again, I'm happy to first kind of just catch up and folks. And so since Superintendent Carpona is here, I think it'd be great if we could introduce ourselves very briefly and just kind of offer up that for initial introduction first, and then we'll head into the agenda items. So I'll start. I'm Eric Lopez, resident of Somerville. I'm the president of this committee. I don't necessarily know how much level of detail I will go into. I've lived in Somerville for well over it's about to be 9 years now. So it's been exciting. But yeah, that's me. And so I'll hand over the mic. Shari, I know your mic is open, so I'm gonna volunteer you to speak next if that's okay.
Absolutely. Hi, Superintendent. My name is Sherry Pitkin. I'm a long-term resident of Somerville, over 30 years. I've had two children go through the Somerville public school system, graduated, gone on to college and on to grad school, graduated. I recently retired. I'm an occupational therapist. And like Eric said, this is our second year with this committee together and just doing the best that we can to forge ahead and meet our objectives to help our students get some money to help them out with school.
Great. Do you want me to go next, Eric, or?
Sure, the mic's open. Great, go ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me in this space anyway. Linda sent me an email. Well, let me first introduce myself. So, Ruben Carmona, I'm the superintendent of the Somerville Public Schools. So excited to be here, my first year. And I got an email from Linda in terms of the membership of the committee. In years past, I believe that we have had some inconsistencies as to who has joined the committee. I was trying to get a sense of who in my team is going to be doing this moving forward, and I still haven't found someone yet. But I am really interested in making sure that we provide um, all the benefits of a structure like this to support all our students' options and career pathways. So again, my interest is in any time that we try to smooth the barriers that students have to access. It is one of those things that I feel that I always have to be part of that. If not me, so a member of my team. So thank you, Eric, Shari, Cindy, Linda, and Darcy for having me here. I also mentioned to Linda that I will only be here until 7:30. I have business to attend after 7:30. So I'll try to be as brief as I can. But again, I wanted to get a sense of how I can support this work. I'm going to pick Cindy to go next now that since we're introducing ourselves. How about that?
Thank you so much, Superintendent Carmona.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cindy Lee. I have a daughter at the Brown School. She's currently in 3rd grade, and I've always been interested in scholarships, helping kind of underprivileged families, if you will, in terms of or first generation college students like me, just kind of obtaining higher education. So that was one of the reasons why I applied to join this committee, and I'm excited to be part of the committee. And welcome. I know you're Superintendent Carmona. I know you have big shoes to fill, and we're very excited to have you.
Thank you, Cindy.
And,
Hello. Yeah.
Thanks,
I'll go. So I'm Darcy Hanna. I have lived in Somerville since 2007, and I have 2 children in public schools. So 3rd and 5th grade, formerly at Winter Hill, currently at Edgerly. And that's been a wild ride. And I worked in higher ed for 14 years at the Massachusetts College of Art and Design. I'm currently a grad student there now, getting an MFA, and I'm a grad student mentor to undergraduate students who are first generation college students. And in my time working there, I've seen firsthand kind of the struggles. We have a food pantry on campus. We have, we have to assist students to get basic, like essentials, for life. So I wanted to be on this committee to kind of help students in Somerville make some of those barriers, less of a barrier. So that's it.
Well, thank you all so much. I appreciate the introductions. Thank you, Dr. Carmona, for your time here today. I think, just to reflect on this past year and just to kind of share the work that we've already been undergoing with the superintendent here. I think the initial design of what we did a year ago here was really asking a larger question of how to create a scholarship process that was equitable. I think in the sense of who we can evaluate, who we can include within our community as the city of Somerville's municipal scholarship committee, right? I think some of our members noted, homeschool students, private school students, charter school students as people we should be including, and how can we reach to those students? And I think that was one of the foremost topics we had. And then I think as we developed the scholarship application process, we used a system called Dollars for Scholars, which was definitely new to all of us. It's something where I think our developments with it at times were difficult, at other times were really fruitful as a way to organize our information. And then as the application process dawned on us, we had created this thoughtful application with all these essay questions, and we read some incredible stories. I can only imagine folks on the committee here can reminisce on some of the stories of our students. And, the 2 I'll pick out are the 2 I saw at the ceremony with the mayor, Edgar Flores Ramos and Sebastián Palomino Jimenez. I mean, these 2 young men who were going on to big things, going on to their college journeys, but who remarked particularly that with the way the scholarship not only helped them to, be more confident about accessing new educational opportunities, but in particular noting that the support from their city could play such a huge part in terms of how they could come back and serve Somerville, for the long haul, they said. I mean, I was really appreciative in that space to both celebrate with the mayor, but also understanding that these young people are the people we want to help. And so we're grateful for the 6 recipients we could give awards to last year. I know that our process was one that was developed very quickly, as much as quickly as we could. And so we're looking forward to doing some further planning and in this fall. So I say all that to open the mic to Shari, Darcy, and Cindy. Were there any other reflections on the past year or so, or our previous process that you'd like to add in as well? Please take the mic.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, I just wanted to note, this has been an ongoing discussion about the Dollars for Scholars platform, but just so you are kind of up to speed, Superintendent Carmona, we had some real concerns about how what the students' experience was like applying through this platform. And so that's something that I think we need to discuss when we decide whether or not to use it again. Especially, we tried to be very inclusive and very thoughtful, and there were things, that felt pretty invasive or perhaps unwelcoming to students who might be undocumented or, have other concerns that, we were trying to make a really level playing field, and the system as it was written sort of made that hard. It kind of went against our goals a little bit, I think.
Well, can I just chime in? I am impressed with the inquiry that we have in front of us right now, which is addressing the access or the lack of access that the platform can create. I think that often that is what I hear from first generation students who are attending college, is that they have to go through the hurdles of completing applications that are complicated. And usually they don't have a network of family members who can actually give them that access or that advantage. So
Right.
I really applaud the question, and I hope that there is a way to really pursue a forensics on the access itself, because sometimes it's hard to determine. Unless we go through the actual application process, you would not be able to get a sense of how difficult it is from a perspective of a student, again, without I'm assuming that sometimes without a network that can help them navigate through these challenges.
Right.
So if I can chime in, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I think the question we wanted to approach at this meeting, begin to discuss, and perhaps in the next few meetings, is do we want to break from Dollars for Scholars? And I think there might be some caveats in doing that. And of course, I don't really know. I'll ask you, Linda, if there are any legal reasons why we need to maintain our relationship with them. And if we were to break with them, if that was something that we decided was of benefit for our students and our applicants, what would be our need as far as developing policies and procedures and being under the auspices of a city committee?
Well, the Dollars for Scholars platform provided you with all of that. Your goals, what your parameters were, what you're going to do. So I think you could keep all of that. And my concern as someone who works here is, how can I support you? So with this last round, it was an online process. And I know city resources are such that, I don't see the city being able to develop something for you to use to collect. And what used to happen in the past was the applications came here, they were assigned a number, redacted, copied, and then, it was a paper process. So my concern is what does that review look like? and who's going to be able to sustain that process. You know, if we don't have like an online platform like Dollars for Scholars. I mean, I don't know what other methods there are for this, because I just don't have any experience. As far as legally, we don't have to contract with them. So I think it was about $2,500 cost out of the Treasury budget, and at no time have I been asked to reimburse the general fund with scholarship funds. So what's happening now is the scholarship funds are coming in and they're going into the scholarship fund, if you will. But the expenses are coming out of the Treasury budget because the Treasury Department is supporting this scholarship committee. So this is very important to the mayor. It was one of her top priorities to get this to get the scholarship committee functioning again, and she is so very pleased, and I'm so thankful, as is she, that you guys are you know, doing this work. So from my point of view, I want to be able to support you, but I also want it to be successful. So I don't know what that looks like, but I don't think that we have to continue with Dollars for Scholars, you know, if you have big concerns about it. The policies and procedures and the parameters, I think we could take those and use them going forward if that's something you feel is appropriate.
Yeah, and this is Cindy. So the committee had talked about this at the end of after reviewing all the applications, and we talked about using something just simpler and streamlined, because again, kind of what Darcy and Sherry talked about, it's quite cumbersome. And we were talking about using just tools like Google Forms. And I know Microsoft also has Microsoft Forms as well, but I just don't know if that's something that we can use for this, if there's any legal restrictions. But there are simple forms that the committee would feel more than comfortable kind of creating the application process, and all the applications could be collated, and then that could be reviewed by the committee.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any legal issues, you know, aside from Mass General Law, which everyone has access to. You know, the Mass General Law dictates what happens, and then the committee determines what happens after that.
Mhm.
How to implement Mass General Law. It's up to you guys.
Because we agree the policies that we have in place, you know, it's obviously just updating the dates, right? You know, we're comfortable with keeping those policies.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Eric, I'll give the floor to you, and then I just have a comment to make.
Oh, no,
Go right ahead.
No, go ahead,
Okay.
Joel.
Okay. The other thing is, can we play devil's advocate for a moment? And correct me if I'm wrong, because Eric, you were so involved in the details of learning about the platform. I think it was daunting for all of us. And so only imagining what it's like as, you know, a senior trying to get through that. And some of the applicants, you know, filled out way too much, things we weren't asking for, remember? And some of them filled out too little, and it disqualified them from our purview. So I put this question to everybody. If we wanted to maintain the relationship with Dollars for Scholars, sign another contract, could we edit their platform just down to the skeletal format that we'd really like to see? So if anybody could chime in on that, if they have feelings about that or an answer about that.
The
Yeah,
challenge
sorry.
is that go ahead.
Go ahead, Cindy. I have a direct answer, but no, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, when we looked at platform, it didn't even favorable.
I'm sorry, Cindy, I didn't hear what you said. Would you mind repeating that?
Well,
Yeah, your
yeah,
internet cut
sorry.
out.
When we
Sorry about
looked
that.
at the platform, it didn't seem very configurable. which it didn't seem like we could remove a lot of the required questions or the pages. So there's just not, unfortunately, it's not a very flexible platform. Eric, is that your
Okay.
understanding as well? Because I know you spent a lot of time, working through the platform.
Yeah, no, I think I think all the comments so far, I think have sort of identified that yes, there is a need for a policy. I think there is a need to adhere to Mass General Law, and thereby, I think our charter, as a committee, is to create a system. And so I think, I think where my hesitation to accept another contract with Dollars for Scholars is, I think, Shari, what you're pointing out, which is to say, there is no flexibility in terms of the build of the platform. The platform itself is built, and I say this because of my history in working in college admissions, college scholarship review, and even in just simply working with students to navigate the college application process. This platform is built for programs that take in over 500 applicants at a time. B, for programs that are looking to increase their bandwidth, increase the sort of footprint in which they can cover, which will hopefully bring them to that 500 applicant number type of goal. And I think when I think of those two things, we're just neither of those things. And that's to say, I want to honestly answer your question, Chari, I think I went back over the summer to my American Legion volunteering days and contacted my old Legion post leader. And I said, what is it, I once upon a time applied for a scholarship by giving you an essay and giving you my resume. Like, what was that process like? What was the record keeping like? And, he gave me the very old school kind of sentiment of, oh, we just put it in a folder. And I appreciated that because I think it reminds me that some of these things can be done at the level of a folder. But it is to say that he did talk about their transformation with some younger leadership and moving things to Google Forms and moving things in particular. And I think, Linda, this might be something that you can help us with. Is there a way to create a city email for this scholarship committee that then we can thereby use to create all these platforms, to create these records, to thereby allow us to have a repository that isn't reliant upon someone's knowledge of Google Forms or someone's, a legacy account or even my information, right? They can log into that one email. I think that's really my major question, because if we have that, we could do Microsoft, we could do Google, but it's really about getting to the ground level with our students. And I think doing that is really about using something that they know very well, which is Google Forms and Microsoft. But Linda, that email question, is that something where that's even possible?
Yes, we could have an email.
And I think for me, that's what I was hoping to get answered today, to be able to then have us provide maybe a map of what essentially, because Chari, to really directly respond to your question, the skeleton that they've made at Dollars for Scholars is fitting for everyone that they work with. For us, we've now found out what we need to whittle that down to. And I think that's what we create a platform for, a Google Forms system that allows us to create a legacy repository of these candidates, of these applicants, of the alumni who are awarded these scholarships, all the way to current scholarship outreach and current scholarship development. So that's kind of how, in my mind, it looks a little bit. I hope that answer helps everybody here, and I appreciate any commentary that can be offered. But again, I do believe we can go without Dollars for Scholars.
So should we raise a motion to depart from our relationship with Dollars for Scholars?
If it's raising a motion for me to do a ton of work in creating Google Forms stuff, then yeah, I guess I'm raising it, and I guess that's what I'm doing here right
Eric,
now.
I'll help you,
we
Eric.
don't-
No, I know
we don't
you'll
want
all
that
help.
to
This Dollars for
happen.
Scholars thing really put us back, but I'm really excited to work with everyone on developing this new platform and this new challenge here.
Well, I'll
I
raise
feel
the
like-
motion.
Yes.
I think the committee's ready to part with Dollars for Scholars. Do we have any seconds?
I second it. This is Darcy.
I agree as well.
I agree.
There we are. No more contract. Okay. So we have a lot of
And I-
work ahead of us.
Right, and I think the great thing is we have all, we have the essay questions that we talked about. We can revisit those to see if we want to add to them, modify them, and we have a lot of the we can use a lot of the fields already that Dollar for Scholar has, and just it's so much easier to edit down. So that when we do actually create the Google Forms and we can split up the work in kind of setting that up,
Yeah.
I think we can do it, pretty quickly, hopefully, knock on wood. But there is time, which is good, especially if we split everything up. So Eric, it's not just you working in Google Forms.
I'm not worried about it. It
Yeah,
was just a joke. Thank you very much.
I was
and
wondering if I may, I think it's worth also checking with what the high school is doing in regards to their scholarship programs.
Yes.
Just not to replicate, but just to, in case there are systems and structures that can be beneficial. So I'm just offering that as a, and probably many of you already know what that looks like. But if there's any questions as to models that we can utilize that are in place in our system, please let me know so I can connect you to the right person.
We would love to be connected to the right person. We have had conversations about the Somerville High School scholarship before, but we would love to talk with folks there if you'd like to connect them to us. If everyone
Got you. Yeah.
put their emails.
How do I get your email, Eric? Is it I think I have Linda's email. Should I do it through Linda?
I'll handle it. I'll send everyone an email with everyone's
That would be
email.
great.
But
Thank you very
you
much.
you can't really talk business amongst each other, so because that violates the open meeting. So, simple things, yes, but actually policy stuff, no. Okay? In the
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Welcome to committee life, Dr. Carmona.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, was there any other agenda points that we wanted to raise this evening?
Okay, so I printed up the agenda. We talked about the Zoom platform. We did the scholarship updates. We've done a platform review. We're not going to renew the contract. The superintendent has been involved, and I think our next steps right now are I would like to receive the policies and the guidelines that were agreed upon, the final versions. I'm pretty sure I have them, but before we completely separate from the Dollars for Scholars, I'd just like to make sure. So if someone has them and or maybe you download the policies from the website. Honestly, I have never logged into the Dollars for Scholars website. So that's why I asked if someone could do that and then send me those. I'd appreciate it.
Okay,
think
I'm
Shari-
sorry, but I have to depart right now. So thank you for letting me crash your party, and I'll follow up with Eric at some point. But thank you very much for the hard work and also for the commitment to the kids who need it the most. And have a good night, everyone.
thank
thank
you.
you. Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you. Thank you and
Thank you.
welcome.
Good night.
Take care.
And we are still recording, and I am making a note here. One other thing, Linda, that you reminded me of. Oh, I was going to say, Shari, do you have the documents, the final copies?
Yeah.
See, would you be able to just
Yeah,
send it over to Linda?
yes, I will do that.
Thank you. I don't see us changing much of those unless we'll review them, right, Shari? I think Linda, you can resend those out to the whole committee and we can review them. But I think that, again, the dates, as you noted, Cindy, are just the major points to change for the year.
Right, and it isn't extremely lengthy, which is helpful for us. So that's great. I also wanted to ask if anyone had any objection while we're getting all this together. I don't know, I just feel it's easier to meet in person, but I don't want to interfere with anybody else's schedule. If we can do that just a couple of times while we're getting this off and running. How do other people feel about that, or is it preferable to meet remotely?
I agree. I think I just feel like we're more productive in person. It's hard when you're online and you're talking over each other, or it's just I prefer in person, and Thursday nights work for me moving forward.
Yeah, I'm fine doing it hybrid or changing it up based on the weather, things of that nature. But obviously, I think a key point is just making sure we have the Zoom support when we do need that, right? And then also in-person announcements. So I think it may be beneficial just to use a similar calendar process like we used previously about our future meeting availability. I'm currently in that document and I can update those for Thursdays, but Cindy, how does Thursday sound for you?
That works for me as well. And in person is fine. And I'm assuming we'll meet at the library again.
I can ask,
Linda, you.
I can ask for library accommodations.
Thank you, Linda. That worked really well.
Okay,
So if you just give me the days that you want to meet next, I'll set up the library. If that's still an option, which I'm sure it is.
Okay, great.
Yep, and some PM. Does that work for everybody this time?
It should work for me.
yes.
6 is also fine. Was there a conflict?
For me, there was, and you might hear some noise in a second. I'm at my little side gig. So going forward, I think 6 will be okay.
Okay,
If that's easier, I can
Yeah.
make it 6 or 7, whatever's easiest.
I have a slight
Maybe
preference
6.
for 6, just because I can get home and do bedtime for my kids then, if we start a little earlier.
Eric, does that work for you?
6:30, was that the time?
6 o'clock.
Oh yeah, 6 works. I think it's definitely just dependent on my kind of my work schedule, kind of moving around and things like that. So I'm happy to update folks as those come about, but I do usually get 2 to 3 weeks advance notice about any large movements. So
Okay.
yeah, 6 or 7 works in general, and then I will as I build out this little schedule tool here on the Google Sheet and people fill out their availability, I'll make sure to point out when things are 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Obviously, we can be flexible there.
Great.
Thank you.
And Linda, sorry, I just remembered. So I'm typing up the meeting minutes, but moving forward, we need to approve previous minutes, right? As part of our next meeting's minutes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Should I pull up and share the last ones I submitted so we can start doing
If you have, and then we could do that right now.
Okay. All right, great. I think, let's see, can I just do an attachment in the chat?
Yeah,
or does
you
it
should
not
be able
work?
to. And then I need to make a note for the agendas that we do that.
Okay, yeah,
And the topics are approved minutes, right?
yep,
Approved minutes. And we also need to mention that, who attended and that we had a quorum, right?
yep.
Yes.
I usually have that in my minutes.
Great.
Okay, so let me see if I can just attach this here. Hold on a second. Let me see if this will work. Okay. Sorry, thanks for your patience. Trying to find, so the last meeting we had was June 1st, I believe, right? Okay. Can anyone see that? Did it come through in the
Yep.
chat?
Yes, it
I
did.
see the file.
Okay. So, yeah, so, well, I guess that one was
One of the meetings was canceled because we didn't have a quorum.
yeah, it must have been that one. So did we have one after that, a replacement, or did we just?
No, nope.
Okay, all right, well,
So we
Do we-
can deal with the approving minutes going forward.
okay,
We don't really have anything to approve right now.
yeah, okay. Okay,
I am digging into Dollars for Scholars, tracing down information and grabbing as much as I can.
awesome, thank you, Eric.
Okay, and I'll be sending the policies over to you, Linda. I could send, and Linda, if
Okay.
you then want to share them with,
I will.
You know,
I'll send them to
everybody.
everyone.
That'd be
Yep, I
great.
will.
Yeah,
I will.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Appreciate you doing that a lot. I really appreciate it. This saves me so much time looking.
No
Yeah,
problem.
and then everyone just update your availability on the upcoming dates.
Mhm.
in the Google Doc and we can go from there.
Absolutely. I'll ping everyone using the emails listed. Is there any change? Anyone's emails change
No.
from
No,
here?
no.
How often do you think we should meet for now?
Well, I mean, we can meet in like 2 weeks from now. I think that'd be a good way to kind of
Okay.
like maintain momentum around thinking about the platform. But then after that one, I mean, once a month and definitely with, I think once a month, but with obviously a lot of charges done individually would be great. And then maybe starting to meet more frequently, starting closer to the new year, which is hilarious, colliding with us in any minute.
So I just want to get and a feel from you guys. When do you think you're going to be asking students to fill out applications and submit stuff? Like, did you want to do that in the fall? Are you going to do that in after in the new year?
I
I
think what
would,
we did last year was a little late because we had some difficulty getting started. But I think we want to start after the new year, if I'm not mistaken, because it's an open period for about 4 months. Is that
Okay.
correct? Others? Yes,
Yeah, I think,
like a January 1st kind of thing.
yeah.
Well, my idea is maybe if we could get the questions out, or my idea for you, so that over the holiday break, I don't know, but doesn't school close down for a little while at some
For a
point?
week.
So
Yeah,
do you
for a
think
week.
Mhm.
would it be beneficial for students to be able to have that week to like do an essay question, or it's not really that laborious that they would need that time? I'm just throwing it out there.
I think
You-
if we have if it's open for such a long time, if we have a big window, I think, we asked for, our word limits were what, like 150? I mean, we didn't have long essays.
Right.
So I don't feel like we have to have it out before the end of the year personally. But I think just sooner than we did last year.
yeah, I kind of feel like it maybe should be in line with the college sort of announcement period. So that's talking about kind of the beginning of March. And thinking about that, I think I think there is a window in January where we can invite folks to begin to either register or create an account or whatever we end up doing, right? But I do also agree with Darcy. I fear that a very wide window will leave us with some applicants that may I don't know. It may leave us with more applicants than we intend to, and may make a smaller pool. And I think opening in January could be a good experiment. I also think that the bandwidth for a high school student is extremely low when it comes to January and February, but I haven't been there in a minute, so I will have to investigate. And so I think when Dr. Carmona as well linked us with the high school, I might have just a brief conversation about what they've seen
Yeah.
as being successful as well. So yeah, I'm not against January, not against March. I think at this point we should definitely aim for at the very least having an announcement of some sort in January as sort of
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
The school counselors, oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I think we definitely promote it in January, not necessarily have students start applying because it is, a little bit early and then everyone's going to be exhausted from college applications, but definitely get the word out sooner rather than later because that was one of our challenges last time. There weren't a ton of people who knew about the scholarship or who applied. So the sooner we get the word out, the better.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think talking to the counselors at the high school could be really helpful too, because there's probably clusters of like they would know when a lot of things are typically due. So that could give us a sense of, when people are kind of in that mode already. And
right.
we could maybe hop on that train of when there's kind of standardized times when these things open.
Right. And Darcy, to your point, I bet the counselors have a list of scholarships that they tell students about. So we
Right.
should definitely make sure that, this one's included.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So we have our meeting to be scheduled For October, it looks like we have a couple of dates here. I look like I have availability on the 12th, 19th, and 26th at this point. Is there any preference amongst those 3 dates? I would appreciate if it's the 12th, but also understand if there's conflicts.
So I'm taking a trip for 2 weeks, and that's during the time, so I won't be able to attend until the 26th. But you'll still have a quorum if you want to start sooner without my presence, but the 26th is my preference.
Okay. The 12th is best for me. I fly out early on the 27th, so we'll just have to be packing and getting my kids ready to go for a family thing. So I probably wouldn't be able to attend the 26th.
And attend the 12th and the 26th, but I'll be out of town on the 19th.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe let's aim for the 12th to just simply get kind of do that in person at the library and kind of get our bearings on kind of the documentation and get kind of our head wrapped around what we need to do to make sure a Google Forms or a Microsoft platform would be effective. So maybe the 12th, I think the 12th for now would work. I do want to at least get some of the priorities just really clear for the upcoming fall winter period for us to be able to hit the ground running in January, at least that way, to set up a platform that's at least marketable. People can know where to go, and maybe a little website as well. So Linda, the only question that I had for you still was just what's kind of the timeline on getting that email as well, by the way. I'm sorry if I'm jumping.
I can request it now.
Great.
What do you want it to be?
Should it be the initials of the committee? Because the Somerville Municipal Scholarship Committee is a mouthful.
It's really long. I mean, it could be municipal scholarship. Can people spell all the, what's going to be easiest?
Um,
'Cause if it's the initials, it's SMSC, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can ask for that SMSC at somervillema.gov. Let me ask IT for it. Okay. And then who's gonna get it? Like, is that me or is that everybody here? Like, I don't know how that works.
I would say everyone here could
Everybody.
have access to the account itself. I mean, that wouldn't be bad at all.
Right, if they
Oh,
can set it up like that, that'd be great.
So what's the idea? Like, people are gonna email this SMSC at Somerville, and then everyone's gonna get it? Is that how that works? Everyone on the committee will get all these emails?
Oh, I was thinking that we could log into that email account and
Oh,
then
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
log in. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we have to set up
into
forwarding or
email account.
anything.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a,
Yeah.
that's
You're
not
good.
my forte. Okay, so
Yeah, no,
okay,
it would
so
just,
log into an email. Okay, yep. I'll
yeah.
ask. Okay, and I'll ask
Simply-
for October 12th at the library, and I'll ask for an email smsc@somervillema.gov.
Yeah,
Okay,
when-
trying to get scholarship at
they-
somerville.gov.
Yeah,
scholarship
Yeah.
scholarship at somervillema.gov. Yep, I'll ask for scholarship at somervillema.gov account.
yeah. I think that might be better than the
Well,
acronym, right? So people
log
can
in.
remember it
Yeah,
easier.
I think it's much better. Yeah, it's great. It's a great one. Scholarship at somervillema.gov. So I'm going to ask for that, and I'm going to ask for October 12th at the library for 6:00.
And Linda, can you ask for instructions on how to log in to the email as well? So once they do create that email, how can
Yeah,
we
I imagine it's
log
going
in
to be like
access?
one of those, what is this? Like this OneDrive or something. That's what they got everyone using. So I think it'll be like that. I just have to give you a password, right? I'll ask
Yeah.
them how that works.
Instructions, yep, the
Yep.
URL, yep, perfect.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Oh, I wonder if the city runs on Microsoft, that everything Microsoft will be that much easier. I don't know. Let's find out once we.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do. It's running on Microsoft Office. So like they're using Teams. Everything's on this OneDrive. That's what they're trying to do. And they're using Google Docs.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
Okay.
so that's good. Yeah,
There's a blend. Okay, great.
good.
Okay, folks, well, the 12th is already agreed upon, but I will put advance dates for after the 26th, so we can check the availability and people can fill that out there. I will gather up the Dollar for Scholars information. Linda and Shari, I think I might just wait till Monday to send the email to Dollars for Scholars about not continuing with the scholarship.
oh yeah, no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about
I
the
also
dollar.
just don't want to send it in. I don't want
Yeah,
to lose
no,
that.
I'm not really concerned about responding to Dollars for Scholars. It's like not high on it's not high on the to-do list. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't even worry about that. That's like the least of my concerns. So this is municipal government. Nothing happens quickly. There's a bureaucracy. So, my concern right now is, someone sending me the minutes and then I'm going to record. I'm going to get
I'll do that.
on there. So, Eric, before you respond, let's just connect, and figure out a strategy for letting them know that we're not going to move forward.
Sure.
I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I get what you're
We
saying.
just ignore them forever and maybe they get the message.
Well, they'll just keep sending emails that we're late
no,
and responding and that we're
I'm
going to have
joking.
an extra
No,
fee.
I'm
Yeah,
joking. I'm joking.
yeah, yeah.
No, that's a joke.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you in person soon-ish.
Okay.
Soonish. All right. Have a good weekend.
Have a
Okay,
good night.
thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.